Hey y'all, and welcome to the Shy and Toy Aftershow. Baby, 2024 is starting off with a bang, and I'm here
A
for it.
bang!
I am here for it. When they've been saying that this year, everything I've been seeing, and like my horoscope, my little daily affirmations, the motivation app, I am app, everything I've been seeing on social media saying 2024 is the year of truth.
Yes.
And if Katt Williams didn't come through with some truth for your ass yesterday,
Yes. Y'all, that video is almost at, if it's not right now, when I was watching it early, it was almost at 9 million views.
yes,
Y'all have to keep in mind, they just uploaded it yesterday. So that is crazy that it's already at almost 9 million views. But like, I get it, like, because when he was speaking, I said, whoa, this is too much.
yes. Like within the first 30 minutes, he emptied the clip. And I was like, when I tell you Katt Williams is the definition of standing on business. Like,
he don't care nothing about what y'all got going on or what y'all say or whatever. Like he said, they tried to label him as crazy and a drug addict and this, that, and the fourth. Like, y'all gotta stop pushing that narrative, because just because someone is honest or the way they communicate is a little bit different.
And you don't like it.
Yeah, like that you want to be quick to, oh, he on drugs. Like, that's not the case.
Kevinhart, you was one of the ones saying he was on drugs.
Yes. So if y'all want to know,
people didn't work with him. That's not the case.
Yeah, they blackballed him, but really it's because of his honesty or whatever. So y'all.
So we're not gonna cover every single thing, but baby, listen.
Yes.
He emptied the clip. So many people caught straight bullets. He dropped names so many times. I'm gonna have to take a shot before we get into this. Okay.
But I see, but I love his, you know, the way, the avenue he took, because, you know, it's so many interviews I see. Well, you know, this A-list celebrity and this B-list celebrity did this. He listed names, and that's what I appreciate, because I get tired of this person and that like, and we don't know who these people are, and we never hear. He dropped names. He don't have no fear in his heart, and that's what I respect about Katt Williams. But y'all, if y'all want to know what we're referring to the interview he did with Uncle Shannon, Uncle Shay Shay. Yeah, so from the first 30 minutes, it was just like on and popping. I said, my God, he was not playing. He was not playing.
Like I said, we're not gonna cover everything, but we're gonna cover because a lot of stuff. We're gonna cover the heavy hitters, okay?
Yep. Yes.
Starting out with Ricky Smiley.
That part.
So Ricky Smiley apparently went on with Shay Shay and said that Friday After Next, the role of Money Mike, that was supposed to have been his role.
Yeah.
Katt Williams said basically he lied and he was bitter the whole time because he wanted that role instead of the role of the crackhead Santa Claus. And he was going around saying, ain't nobody know who know us. And don't nobody know who Katt Williams is, because this was groundbreaking for Katt Williams' career. Okay. This was what really propelled him into the spotlight.
Yeah.
That, as well as like a Comic View, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Katt Williams said that in the original script, Money Mike actually, the scene with him in the bathroom with Damon, he actually did get raped in that scene. But Katt Williams was like, hey, why don't we take this out? Because regardless of the circumstances or who's getting raped, rape is not funny.
It's not okay. It's not funny. That's not funny
at all.
Yeah.
So his thing was, how in the world was this character supposed to have been meant for Ricky Smiley when he is the one who wrote the lines? He is the one that put the character together. He's the one that made it a pimp and said, hey, instead of having a pimp come in and act, having an actor come in and act as a pimp, why not get an actual pimp. They went and got Bishop Magic Don Juan.
Yes,
He said
it was
because
perfect.
Perfect.
I watched that. I just watched that movie because that movie just is basically it's around Christmas time. The whole scene of the movie, the whole gist of the movie is around Christmas time. So I do. It's one of my movies that I watch around the holidays.
Yeah.
But if you really think about what Katt Williams brought to that role, and then you think about what Ricky Smiley brought to that role, like no one could have played that role but Katt Williams. Like
Shay
the whole
same thing. Uncle Shay said the same thing. It's like he couldn't have played it like that. He couldn't.
It's the persona. Like, I'm sorry. Like, Katt is a shorter man, and like you could have did so much with that. But then I'm sorry, but Ricky Smiley's tall and lanky. I'm just sorry. Like, I believe Katt on that way. I do not believe that role was meant for Ricky Smiley. But he said that Ricky Smiley was crying and kicking and screaming because, they made him wear like a bandana over his face when he was robbing houses on the movie. And he was like, Katt was like, oh, that Ricky Smiley was saying, oh, they're covering my face and, all this stuff. And, like,
my family ain't even going to be able to know it's me.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yes.
But everything that Money Mike said was written by Katt Williams. Katt really owned that role and made it his own. And he said in an interview with Uncle Shay that the reason he's able to dive into these roles and these characters is because those are things that he's experienced in his real life.
Yes.
He had a time where I ain't gonna say he was a pimp for real.
I'm gonna say he was a pimp for real, allegedly.
He was a time where he was involved with some women of the night when he was in Oklahoma City.
Listen, that man said pimping.
On pilot. We like shit.
That was funny. Oh my God.
Everybody remember those lines. I can't tell you a single line that crackhead Santa Claus said other than rolling now for stolen.
I can't think of. The only thing was I always wanted me a daughter. Oh, that's a daughter. I always wanted me a daughter. That's literally it. I mean, it's more like funny, but like actual lines from the movie that we quote, no.
But look, this man went on to say, Katt Williams went on to say that Ricky Smiley cut up so bad that he made it, Katt Williams put in his contract that he would not work with Ricky Smiley again unless he was in a dress. And then guess what? After Friday after the next movie we have with the both of them is First Sunday. And guess what Ricky Smiley is in? A dress. Playing Sister Bernice. A dress. I just watched it recently, like before this came out. I watched it like a month ago. It's on Twitter, y'all. I was like, so Ricky Smiley did address the allegations today. I don't know if it was on his morning show, but I listened to an audio clip on my way home from work. He did address the allegations today. He said that he did not lie. He said that when he auditioned for the role, he originally auditioned for Money Mike. So that may be where the disconnect is coming in play because you, but you came on Shay and said that role was meant for you. It's the difference with you auditioning for a role and them saying, you're better suited for this as opposed to, oh, we got Ricky Smiley in mind for this role. This is his role. That's not what happened. Right. You auditioned for the role and they chose Katt Williams for that role.
Right.
You know what I mean? But he did say it's no beef. It's no ill will towards Katt. No love lost. It's nothing but love on his end. But I just thought that was crazy. He said that he also said that there was no such contract in which Katt Williams would not be in a movie with him unless he was in a dress. I said, but it's kind of the timeline. It's kind of questionable because that movie you was in with him, you was in a dress. Red flag. So I don't know, y'all. I don't know. And it's like we have said before, it be so much going on behind the scenes with these celebrities. We'll probably not be privy to everything.
It does.
But that leads us to our next victim on the chopping block, Cedric the Entertainer.
This one shocked me though. This one
But
really shocked me.
we installed okay, so Katt said that the Entertainer stole his joke.
Yeah.
And when you listen to the jokes, they are very similar. Very much similar. Katt Williams said that, this was his very best joke. He was at a show, did this joke, said even came backstage to tell him how good he did. And then next thing you know, he looked up and said is doing his joke on the Kings of Comedy, verbatim. And the only thing he changed was he changed the car. And Katt Williams' original joke, he referenced the car, changed it to a spaceship.
Yeah.
So the joke had been televised for quite some time, and Katt actually perfected that joke with the help of Mark Curry. If y'all don't know who that is, that's Hanging with Mr. Cooper. I used to love that show growing up. And he said that Cedric's not a movie star because he never wrote anything. He's had 4 movie specials, and they're so bad that they're not on Tubi or Netflix. I was screaming.
But here's the thing, like, it was funny, but like, I agree 100%. Like, I've tried to watch like different stuff. Like recently, I think he has a show out right now.
It was like a sitcom,
a sitcom, and I was just like, it wasn't funny. I remember trying to watch one episode. I said,
but I didn't watch it. I saw the previews. To be fair, I didn't watch it. I saw the previews, but even from the previews, I was like, yeah, this don't look like nothing I want to watch.
Yeah, which disappointed me because, I mean, he's funny to me. Like, when he was doing Kings of Comedy,
They know
like, he was really funny. Like, I was like, but I will say when they have to go on like sitcoms, they have to give a very diluted form of like their craft. I'm just sorry.
In his defense, that is true. Another thing that may have hindered him is allegedly, this is from the perspective of Katt Williams, allegedly, like I said the Entertainer does not write his own material. So
that was a moment he
yeah. When you are able to write your own material and stuff like that, I feel like that'll take you further, because if we look at the record of like, musicians, comedians, people in the entertainment industry who write their own material, it seems like their career is more sustainable. Which I can't say Ced's career is not sustainable. He's very successful. He's been in movies, Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins, Barbershop,
Johnson Family Vacation.
Yeah. So he got that bag.
He's funny. Yeah.
He's funny. I don't agree with that part. Katt Williams said he wasn't funny. I do feel like he is funny. Said the time is funny to me. Moving on to Steve Harvey.
This is the one I have a lot to say about. Yeah.
He had a lot to say about. So he had a lot to say, and we have a lot to say about Steve.
That's right.
Uncle Steve, allegedly, which when I look back and see the progression and the timeline and everything, it does add up. Allegedly stole everything from Mark Curry. So, and he was touring with Mark Curry. He, went to watch Mark Curry do a sitcom, Hang with Mr. Cooper. And then next thing you know, we have the Steve Harvey show. So, and he's doing the same thing in the Steve Harvey show that Mark Curry was doing to Hang with Mr. Cooper.
Right.
Except he went and got a high top fade, which Katt Williams said was a man unit.
He was given a lace front.
I went back and looked and trying to see if I could see it lifting or something. But Katt Williams said that was a man unit. And
he said they were whole time trying to say, man, I want my line as crisp as Steve Harvey's. He was like, whole time it was a wig.
It was a unit whole time. Like, Then not only that, so everybody, if you know Steve Harvey, you know, I've heard this for years. He says it all the time. He said he was homeless when he began his comedy career. This, that, and the third. If you look at anything Steve Harvey, he always talking about how he was homeless. Katt Williams said that's a lie. He said because at the time when this alleged homelessness happened, Steve Harvey was touring with Mark Curry and making $3,000 a show, doing 5 shows a week. That's $15,000 a week.
Yeah,
some people don't even see that in a year. So if you homeless making $15,000 a week, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
How? That's $60,000 a month.
Yep.
So he said that was not Steve's storyline. Steve stole that storyline from him because it was Katt Williams who was actually homeless.
Yeah.
Katt was homeless at a young age, at the age of 13, when he left his home from Ohio and moved to Florida. And, you know, he said he left with only $2,500 in his pocket. Now, do I believe every single thing Katt said in this interview? No, because he was saying that he got accepted into colleges at the age of 7. Said that he read over 30,000 books. Some of that shit, I was like, bruh.
It's giving Jaguar right.
I
was like, Katt, I mean, like, I was like, okay. But no, like, no, I don't believe that. But I will say, like you said, the timeline with Steve Harvey and stuff, that does add up. And it was some concerning stuff that he said, like, you know, he touched on Bernie Mac and Steve Harvey's beef. Now, I do remember that because before Bernie passed away, he was like at the height. He had been on Ocean's 11. He had his own show. And we found out, according to Bernie, that
Soul Plane. Can't forget Soul Plane.
I forgot about
That's my favorite Bernie Mac movie. You the dumb motherfucker.
I forgot about Soul Plane.
What he said? What was John Legend's character in that movie? That part was so funny.
John Legend.
Yeah, John Legend was not Soul Plane, Soul Brothers.
Yeah, but that's why I was like, oh yeah, him and Samuel Jackson.
I'm still saying it wrong. Soul Men. So, Marcus Hooks talking about Marcus make he rest in shit. Nigga can't harm.
It was so funny. I love that movie. It was good. And
man, I don't know why I said I was thinking Kevin Hart because he's a part of this too. And I thought
Yep, he's also a part of this too. Yeah.
But go ahead, boo.
But he also was talking about Steve Harvey. Now, I have heard the whole, you know, fiasco between Bernie and Steve. Bernie accused Steve of trying to take gigs from him. The one role they were saying that Steve tried to get from him was the Ocean's 11 gig, the Ocean's 11 role. And I was like, now, and that's why they said there was never another Kings of Comedy tour, because of their rift, you know. And I was like, I've always wondered why they did not, you know, have another episode, another special, because that was so famous. I still watch that to this day. Like, it is hilarious, especially Bernie Mac.
But let Steve tell it. Steve claims it was because he did not want to be a movie star. Yeah. And Bernie didn't want to be a movie star, so that's why they didn't have another Kings of Comedy. Boy, what?
That makes no sense.
Who would not want to be a movie star?
Yeah, that makes no sense.
You couldn't.
Yeah.
Not on the level of Bernie.
Yeah.
Bernie is the greatest. I don't care what nobody say.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody up there with Bernie.
Yeah, because he's funny. He was funny, and then he could be an actor too. That's rare. Some people can be funny and be some people can be funny, but they can't really be an actor.
But that brings it to the point that Katt Williams was making. He said you have to have range. He said these people don't have range. Faison does not have range. Sid don't have range. Steve don't have range, because you can't show up in a movie and play Faison. You can't show up in a movie, and play Steve. Yeah. He was like, you have to have the range. But he understood that. Bernie had that. Katt Williams has that. I don't care what you say about the man. The man is talented, very talented. And
I even feel like Mike Epps has that because
has
he
range.
is great at his specials.
Yes.
Every one of his Netflix specials has been great.
Yes.
In addition to the movies he's in, he started off on Friday. I mean, he's had several movies, but like one of those roles like Friday, I love his Meet the Blacks and Haunted, all of that stuff. So
I just watched School Dance with Katt Williams. Mike Epps played the principal. I had never heard of that until this interview.
Yeah.
And I said, why have I not heard of that movie? See, I remember, but I'm telling you, the clip was viral with Katt Williams. So while I had never seen this movie, I knew this clip in the back of my mind and never knew where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
It's a clip where Katt Williams is in jail and Tiffany Haddish comes in with her two kids. One is a teenage black boy and the other is a infant white baby. Mm-hmm. And saying to Katt Williams, "Here go, I brought your babies to see you." And Katt Williams is like, "Who the hell is that white goddamn baby?" That is not my baby. He said,
I have not seen it. I'm gonna watch that tonight.
He said that baby got a 730 credit score right now. The baby got glasses on. He said, "What is the prescription in that baby glasses? I have never seen that." I'm like, that baby look like it belongs to Officer Joshua, but he don't belong to me. That baby from the mountain of Caucasus.
That tonight. That's gonna be my little treat movie. I always try to do something.
I have known that part for so long. That the Katt Williams part, I've known it for so long. You never watched the actual movie because I didn't know it was part of a movie.
Yeah.
So you gotta watch that. It's on Tubi. It's called School Dance. It's produced by Nick Cannon. It has a lot of people in it. It got Kevin Hart. It has Katt Williams. It has Mike Epps. You got what's the little boy? Jay Lewis. It has Lunel. It got Duval. George Lopez. Like, it's a lot of heavy hitters in that movie. It is so funny. But
when you said Mike Epps and Lunel and Katt, I was like, okay, I'm watching it.
Yeah, Lunel in there. I was hollering at Lunel too.
Yeah.
But like, he has that range though. And in order to transfer over, I don't care if you're, they have these professional sports players that, end up wanting to act. They have rappers, singers, whether it be regardless of what genre that want to act, you have to have range. So while you perfect your comedian craft, for a comedian specifically, you have to be able to step outside of who you are as a comedian while still being a comedian.
That's hard.
It's like not Katt Williams, but you're playing a man behind bars whose kids are on the outside. As he said, how can he play those roles? Because he's been there. Yeah. He's never been to prison, but he's been in jail while his kids was on the outside. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me tell you, that was very entertaining. Like, it was some parts, like, I was like, ooh. But he's not scared to speak his truth, and I respect it. Like, he was not scared. Yeah, it was. I was just like, whoa, Katt. Like, but like back to the whole Steve Harvey thing. Like, we've always heard rumors that Steve Harvey was shady. Even when it boils down to his wife and his wives and then his children. Because I always felt it was rude, and this is no shade at Marjorie because I like Marjorie. I think she's beautiful. I think she's a
very beautiful and fashionable.
Yeah, she's a fashion icon, all of that stuff. However, I just have an issue with Steve not really. He always gives credit to Marjorie, which, it's great. But those wives that you had before, they also played a pivotal role in your success. So, like, and plus they're the mothers of your kids. So, like, you can't disrespect them too much, but there's always been, issues. But let me tell you, there is a huge rift between, allegedly, I think it's also included D.L. Hughley. I don't think D.L. Hughley deals with Steve Harvey either. I think Cedric the Entertainer, there was a rift with that too. It's because I think they took the side of Bernie Mac for that. So Right.
And
I'm on Bernie Mac's side if that's what happened.
I'm on Bernie's side with everything.
Yes.
Period.
Stand on.
Also, Steve, when people ask him why he stopped doing like stand-up comedy, he tells them because he has 7 TV shows. Well, Katt Williams said, well, you didn't have those shows at the time you stopped doing stand-up. He said the reason you stopped is because me and you got into a comedy battle that was called the Championship of Stand-Up Comedy, I think in Detroit. And you lost because Katt Williams told everybody that he was actually a bald man wearing a wig. And after that, he didn't want to do stand-up no more. Not only that, Katt Williams alleges that the Kings of Comedy tour, this was actually supposed to be Steve Harvey's tour. That's why he was the last act. But he could not follow up with Bernie. Bernie was one of the opening acts. So everyone that came before Steve was supposedly an opening act. And Steve could not bounce back from Bernie. I don't know who could bounce back from Bernie. After Bernie get on stage, he lighted on fire. I would have just been like, okay, y'all, let's go home.
Yeah.
Let's all go home because, like, when I tell y'all when Bernie passed away, I was so hurt because that's one comedian. I didn't even know comedian beef was a thing.
Yeah.
But Katt Williams explained it perfectly. He was telling Uncle Shay Shay, he said, well, when you were in your football career, you played for the Broncos, right? So would you not have an issue or be up against the Dallas Cowboys? I said, well, dang. I said, so if you look at it like that, there's competition and there could be beef in any field, in any career choice, in any path that you take because all y'all trying to get to the top. Yeah. I said, but they have blackballed Katt so bad. And I want to say, I believe maybe 75% of what he said.
Yes.
Regarding other people. Now, the stuff he said about himself, I don't feel like he got accepted in college at the age of 7.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like you, boy.
And I'll be honest, I didn't fully understand what happened between him and his father. I didn't quite understand that part either.
Between him and who?
His father.
So basically, he was raised Jehovah's Witness. I don't know if, y'all watching know a lot about that faith, but they are very strict. And it was a situation where, it's that power struggle between son and father as they, the son gets older and starts coming into himself and trying to figure out who he is. Basically, it boiled down to his daddy telling him what he was going to be in life as opposed to what he actually wanted to be in life. Right. So basically, they got into a physical altercation, and Katt decided to leave because that was his father's house. And in Black households, I can't speak for any other race. You live under my roof, you abide by my rules.
That's true.
They got into a physical altercation. From what Katt was saying, like he didn't explain that part too great, but from what I gathered from it, his daddy was whooping his ass, and he had to get on out of there.
Yeah.
So they, he loves his father, but they do not have the greatest relationship because of that situation. And then that's when he left Ohio and hopped on the back. He alleges hopped on the back of a tractor trailer and moved to Miami, Florida.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna get into Earthquake. Not a whole lot on Earthquake. He did give Earthquake his flowers, but he did say that the reason Earthquake is another comedian that's very
hilarious. Yeah.
He said the reason that you don't see Earthquake in movies is because Earthquake is illiterate and cannot read.
That is exactly what he said, and honestly, did not laugh.
I didn't either because I don't think, but sis, I don't think he meant it to be a joke. I think he was just stating the facts because he came back and said, now, even though I said this about Earthquake, I need you to understand the brother's talented.
Yeah, he's good. He should be, because when I was, on social media, I used to follow him. Now he should be, up with the greats, but like Katt said, he can't read. So that, counts him out of stuff. But that man, I actually saw him before and he is hilarious.
Yeah. But he said the way they found that out is they actually, I guess they were trying to cross him over to movies. They put a script in front of him and found out he was illiterate.
Yeah.
And this is allegedly, this is coming from the point of Katt Williams.
Katt Williams, that's true.
So he also, got into Faison Love a little bit. Faison Love, that's Big Worm from Friday. He said, this is how he introduced Faison Love. Because they were, Uncle Shay was saying, you put comedians on or, anything like that. Basically, that's how they were having a conversation. And Katt Williams literally said, I only put on comedians that are funnier than me. Anybody that's ever told you differently is a fat Faison liar.
Okay, so when he touched on Faison, I actually agree with some of that because I just watched that movie Couples Retreat and Faison is on that. And Katt touched on like Faison always taking his shirt off. And that is literally it. Faison got naked on Couples Retreat. His butt cheeks were showing. His shirt was off. Like that's what he does. And he, Katt touched on that. And I was like, he couldn't be like, he is telling the truth with that. Because I was like, that's not the first movie where Faison has got naked. I was like, I don't want to see this man naked.
But now, what the part on Faison that I did not agree with Katt on is, he basically said in so many words that the reason you don't see Faison in another Friday movie after the first one is because it wasn't good. Yes, Big Worm's role was.
It was good. It was funny. Yeah, that was funny.
And critical to Friday. Yes. And Uncle Shay even tried to tell him, well, Katt, you don't see a lot of ones that was in the first one. You don't see them in any of the other ones. Like, basically that's not good enough reason. And I agree. Like, Big Worm's role, everybody loved Big Worm. Everybody know lines from Big Worm.
Yes. Yeah. It was legendary. It was.
But I guess he has had beef with Faison because Faison said that it is easy to get a Netflix special. However, he doesn't have one. So if Katt was like, if it's so easy, why you don't have one?
But the thing is, though, it is not easy to get a Netflix special.
And
only heavyweights. I mean, there are some heavyweights that have like Mike Epps has a few. I love Michelle Buteau. I love her with the big curly hair. She's hilarious. You have, I think Earthquake does have one, I think, or like he's on one. Several. Lunel has one.
Yeah.
They're not easy. They're not easy to get. I wouldn't say that. Like, no, I disagree with Faison.
He said that, but I agree with that. Like, you saying all that, but you don't have one. Right. Now, let me see. Because Michelle Buteau, you brought up a great point in that. Just a quick plug. I'm not sponsored. If y'all have not, please watch First Wives Club. Michelle Buteau is in the. Yes.
I have watched it all. I am hoping it comes back. Jill Scott, Michelle Buteau, and I forgot. Well, the other lady, unfortunately, she passed away. Not in real life, but on the show. That is the best show. It's very mature. It's relatable. I love Michelle Buteau, and I love Jill Scott as an actress. Another person who has range. Yes. So yes, I
think they are supposed to be coming out with a season 4. So I'm ready for that. I literally my cousin told me about it. I think in November. I went home that same day and watched all 3 seasons.
I did too. I've watched it all. It took me 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
I love the show. Yeah.
You know what? I might go back and watch it tonight. It's that good. Yeah.
It's that good. Yeah. Because I was like, I had seen it. I was like, I don't really know. You know what I mean? But I was bored one day and I didn't have anything to watch. And I was like, just see what it's about. Because I love Jill Scott. So, and I love Michelle. So I was like, this is everything.
Amazing. Really good. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna move. Okay, we're gonna go to a couple more victims and we're gonna get on out of here. Kevin Hart.
Yes.
So You know, Katt Williams said that Kevin Hart is an industry plant because what comedian do you know moves to LA and already has deals within 1 year of him moving? And if you don't know what an industry plant is basically an artist or someone who presents themselves as being independent and as doing things on their own and on their own terms, but in the background has the backing of the industry. So they're creating that narrative like I got it out the mud, getting it on my own, but you don't because you're receiving funding and support from the industry. I can see that.
Sorry, Kevin's just not that funny to me.
He's not. He's just corny.
Yeah.
And I can see that because Katt made a valid point. He said, he said Kevin Hart recently did a documentary with Chris Rock. I haven't watched that yet.
Mm-hmm.
But in the documentary, he showed his entire upbringing as being on the East Coast. So if you're on the East Coast during this time that you blew up, how could you simultaneously have these deals and all these things going on the West Coast in LA?
Right.
So it is giving industry plant. And he said, while they'll tell you there are no industry plants and no gatekeepers, you see the same people opening and closing the gate.
That's true.
Kevin Hart is one of those people because Kevin Hart is the one who put on Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he also said that he has gone 25 years without even being in the same building. Mm-hmm. Him and Kevin Hart, because every time he enters, Kevin Hart walks out. Yeah. Now, I question that for the simple fact with me just watching School Dance, Kevin Hart and Katt Williams were in School Dance. Yeah. However, it could be true for the simple fact that it was two different scenes. So whereas Katt Williams only had that one scene in the prison, Kevin Hart was featured multiple times. So it could have been, they filmed it at different times.
Different times, yeah. That could have been.
He also said that for 5 years, every single movie that Kevin Hart did was a movie that had first been placed on the desk of Katt Williams. Mm-hmm. But he turned it down because he didn't want to do this step and fetch it routine. Mm-hmm. He said that it doesn't need to be, a lot of things these days are, this is allegedly come from Katt Williams. Don't attack me. Because I know how the LGBTQ community can be. He said, let me clarify, Katt Williams said that things do not need to be overly homosexual in order for you to do them. And, when he would present that to, the people who wanted him to play these roles, they'd be like, yeah, okay, we can modify this, then the third, but the next thing you know, they decide to go with Kevin Hart, and Kevin Hart is doing the role. Mm-hmm. But they do that because Katt Williams stands on business. He said he stands on his standards and he by his integrity.
That's what he said. Yeah.
He strikes me as somebody that has morals and standards and, is not willing to bend or break to appease whoever and speaks his mind. And you want to know why I believe that? Mm-hmm. I found out today Katt Williams is a fellow Virgo. I'm a Virgo. I know us. I know Virgos. Might tell you a joke, but we'll never tell you a lie.
Yes. Yep. That's what they say. Might tell a joke, but I never tell you a lie.
Virgos, if you know Virgos, and I don't get too far in their astrology, but I've met several Virgos, and several Virgos I've encountered, experienced, have been just like me. And give it to you straight, no chaser. Ain't got time for no sugarcoating, but at the same time, not gonna lie to you.
Okay, so I have a brief interjection, right? So Cedric the Entertainer ended up responding on Twitter, I believe, or Instagram. I can't remember.
I forgot about that. Yes, he did. Go ahead.
Yeah, in response to what Katt said, and he says, revisionist history. Regardless of whatever Katt's opinion, my career can't be reduced to one joke Katt Williams claims is his. I'm sorry, he said claims as his. I've been over, this is exactly what he's saying. He just has a couple typos. I've been over 40 movies. My specials and brand speaks volumes for I am. The people I have put on, including Cat in the Hat at the Gibson Amphitheater. So a few people came, and jumped to Cedric and said, I saw the joke, said, you stole that shit bar for bar.
Verbatim, word for word. If y'all go see the joke, look up the spaceship joke from Cedric Entertainer. and the car joke from Katt Williams, it is verbatim. The only thing is he changed the vehicle.
Yep.
Literally. Now, who Kevin Hart, since we on Kevin Hart too.
Yeah.
He responded as well, but he didn't have as long of as a response. He only said that, you know, you got to get that. He's like, basically, Katt got to get that anger up out of him.
Yeah.
That's all he said. Steve Harvey has not responded.
He's not going to respond.
If he do, it might be on. Well, if he would have, it would have been on the Steve Harvey show today, right?
It would be on the radio. Yeah. He's not going to respond. Because right now, you know, I don't know. I haven't followed up, but you know, he had that whole fiasco a couple months ago with Shirley Strawberry. So I think they're just trying to like let everything sizzle down. But he's not. I don't think he's gonna. I don't think Steve is what he plays out to be. Like he gonna stand on business and stuff. At the end of the day, he gonna do whatever the hell Marjorie say.
And
if she say don't respond,
he's not gonna respond. No. I've been looking at Steve, you know, with a side eye for the past couple of years, you know, because it's just some things I just don't feel like he's really genuine about. He's very successful, like has hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay, cool. But as Katt Williams alleged, these people, they're getting these roles. That's because they compromise who they are.
Yeah.
He's talked on Gary Owens very briefly. It wasn't anything negative, but he said Gary Owens, the reason he cannot cross over is because he won't sell his soul. He said, because how do you have a comedian funny like Gary Owens that's white and been in the industry in Hollywood for over 25 years and can't cross over?
Yeah.
He won't sell his soul.
And Gary Owens is funny. He was on Haunted House or whatever the last Mike Epps haunted movie was, and he played he was hilarious. He's hilarious. Gary Owens is hilarious. Yeah,
he's not nearly as successful as he could be for that.
Yeah, but I do feel like there's an extent that, you know, some of these celebrities, comedians, whatever, entertainers, athletes, whatever, I feel like there is a price they pay to be up there. And, you know, I don't know what that is.
We're going to get into that because he talked about that in like the last few minutes of his interview with Uncle Shay Shay. So I'm going to tell you exactly what it is because me and you have had this conversation before.
Yes.
He got into Harvey Weinstein a little bit.
Yeah.
He said that, you know, he got canceled and blackballed for talking about Harvey. He said, but, you know, he got canceled for talking about Michael Jackson, Chris Tucker, but now you see years later they were connected to Harvey Weinstein. He said that, you know, Harvey had offered to, what's the best way I can say this without being too graphic? Harvey offered to provide an oral service to Katt Williams in front of everyone at Katt Williams' agency. He said it was him and 3 other black guys on the script as well. He declined it, but what did the other 3 do? Now, he did not say who these other 3 men were.
But he did emphasize, like, they were in the room, so his question was basically, all right, what did y'all do to get in here? Because
he said that his goal when he started out was to protect his hold. And I ain't trying to be graphic, but you know what hole I'm talking about, to protect.
Which y'all allegedly a lot of celebrities, some of your big names, to get in the door, they get down like that.
I'm gonna tell you a few in a minute, because he kind of touched on some stuff we talked about in a previous after show. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah. Whatever is Diddy.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Okay, y'all. If y'all remember that interview a couple years back with Wanda Smith, the female comedian in Atlanta, the viral interview with Katt Williams and Wanda Smith where he roasted the hell out of her.
he was talking about it, but I've never seen it. But that sparked some some ammunition in me to go see it. Sorry, I got hair in my face.
Please do. It was so funny because basically because I noticed, she was throwing shots. And she's a fellow comedian, but you can't throw shots with one of the greats because you ain't gonna be able to continue. He would not, he ate her for filth. So he said what happened was, this is during the time he had just won an Emmy for Atlanta, whatever. He said that she had literally, before the interview started, this is all alleged, she had literally told him that, they were only going to talk about the Emmy. She said that they would not talk about his children. I don't know if y'all know, but Katt has 5 girls and 5 boys. 7 of those children are adopted, and he has kept them completely off the internet. Bravo to him. So, they wouldn't talk about his court cases, the jail time, or anything like that. And as soon as the interview started, she flipped the script and started throwing shots at him, unprovoked. Y'all go watch it. It's him and Wanda Smith. She was working for V103, but she basically tried to embarrass him and in front of a population or her supporters that were largely homosexual by making derogatory homosexual remarks towards him, but it backfired because homosexuality is not derogatory to the LGBTQ plus community. So she, shortly after that interview, she got canceled and she got fired from V103 in Atlanta. And he basically said he felt like it was an ambush, it was a setup. But the thing that is crazy is that same weekend when, he actually went to the Emmys, her husband, Lamorris Sellers, pulled a gun out on him. Like he was going to shoot him.
Yeah. And he talked about that. And I think I remember hearing something like that. And he was like, there were people applauding like they were happy about it. It was more people seemed like they were more happy about it than anything. And I said, that's disgusting.
It really is. And it's only because she's a woman. But my thing as women, we have to understand you cannot throw rocks and hide your hands. You attacked this guy, and then you can tell it was awkward. She was uncomfortable because he would like, he would try to move on to the next topic, the next subject, and she'll throw a little jab in there saying, well, you've been to prison. And he said, no, never prison. I've been to jail. That's 2 different things. But she just kept throwing those awkward little jabs in, and she was very off put, and it was very much she was attacking him. But as women, you can't throw rocks, hide your heads, and then play victim. So her husband, he tried to, I guess, call himself protecting
avenging her,
avenging her, protecting his wife, whatever the case may be. But she was very much the one in the wrong, and they canceled her because of it.
Well, Shannon, I think he was a fan of her, and he admitted, he was like, yeah, she started it.
No, he got it. He was talking about Wanda Sykes when he said he was a fan.
Oh,
when he said Wanda, he mistakenly said Sykes, and then they got on a little side tangent saying, oh yeah, I love Wanda Sykes. I'm a fan of Wanda Sykes. But he was a fan of Wanda Smith.
Oh, okay. I got confused during that point. I was like, are they talking about Wanda Sykes?
I did too, and I had to go back and look at it again and get clarification. He was talking. He said Wanda Sykes, but he meant Wanda Smith.
Yes.
But it was crazy. Like I remember that interview. Cause I was like, y'all, I done watched the interview so many times. I be hollering. Like when I say he ate her up, he ate. Sis, you gotta watch the thing.
That's on my list. That and School Dance.
And School Dance. Watch both of those tonight. The interview clip is not that long. I think it may be like 5 to 6 minutes of him roasting her. But watch that and let me know what you think. But okay, so we have 3 more people to talk about. Michael Blackson, he brought him up, and Michael Blackson did respond on Instagram. Michael Blackson, he said basically when he came out, he was wearing dirty dashikis, and Katt told him he needed to basically dress for the position that he's in. He said, you claiming to be the African king of comedy, but if you are, then you need to go back to Africa and build a school because there's comedians in Africa. And he said that these guys, they'll take his advice because Michael Blackson did go build a school in Africa. He said these guys will take his advice and then get mad at him for it. So Michael Blackson came out. He called Kevin Hart some kind of midget or something like that. It was funny. Basically talking about Katt Williams. And he was like, you did not tell me to build a school in Africa. Like, basically, he did that on his own, of course. So we don't know about that.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you what Katt said.
Right.
They got into Dave Chappelle a little bit about how he walked away from $50 million. Katt Williams said he walked away from $50 million on 4 separate occasions because it's the principle. Now, he likes Dave Chappelle. So everybody I'm naming, he's not enemies or in competition with, like Gary Owens. He's a fan. He's a fan of Dave Chappelle. He's a fan of Mark Curry. Of course, he loves Bernie Mac. He loves Wanda Sykes. Like, Earthquake. He's a fan of Earthquake. Even though he said he wasn't literate, he said he just stated the facts. But talking about Dave Chappelle a little bit, because Dave Chappelle, that's what I love too, and I've been new. He's not what's what I'm looking for? He's not the one to do things because other people do them. He's not a sellout.
I have went to see Dave Chappelle twice last year. Once in January and once in October, late October. No,
it was in the fall.
It was definitely in the fall, but I've seen him twice. And when I tell you, I am so thankful for those experiences because Dave Chappelle is a legend to me. Yes. I grew up watching him on Comedy Central, and he is hilarious. And I love, at this point in his career, his approaches. He's talking about real life issues, but it's meshing, like the real life issues and then his jokes. Everything is meshing. I love Dave Chappelle. He has all my respect. I really, really enjoyed those specials, but I enjoyed Katt's perspective about every comedian. And I don't think he was telling a lie. Keep in mind, he's been around these people for years, so he would know. He said he knows. Yeah,
he does. And he said that's why they fear him.
Yeah. Because he said it's a lot of people when he walk in a room, they hold their head down. Yeah. Not because they don't respect him, it's because he knows their deep, dark secrets.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of those deep, dark secrets are about to come to the surface in 2024. Well, it's already starting to happen. Like, he touched on Chris Tucker, and he was like, Chris Tucker could be, but he's on one of Epstein's islands. I said, oh, wow, okay.
So all of this ties into the Illuminati. Towards the end, Katt Williams touched on that because there was a part where Uncle Shay Shay asked him, you and Ludacris related, right? And this is when he brings up the Illuminati. He said, no, him and Luda are not related, but they were both invited to an Illuminati event, and it had to be one or the other. So they started out equal, but to be successful, one of them had to cut off all their hair, and they could not do the sideburn things anymore with the points. And if you did so, they would give you $200 million because they would pay $10 million per movie to do 20 movies. He said that is the same deal everyone is presented, and then they give them a light-skinned, ugly-faced wife. So he said that describes 7 people: Luda, Steve Harvey, what's his face? Entertainer. He said light-skinned, ugly-faced wife that don't.
Yeah, I disagree with that because I think Ludacris' wife is beautiful, though. I've always thought that.
Beautiful. Marjorie is beautiful.
Marjorie is beautiful, yeah.
Well, okay. Let me backtrack. He didn't say ugly. He said weird face.
But that is what he said, though. That is what he said.
And he said weird. And I don't see their faces as weird, but they are very unique. And they have distinctive characteristics. But Marjorie's very beautiful. Eudoxie, that's Ludacris's wife, she's very beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah.
He said,
Yeah.
but if you look, he didn't say the rest of the 7. He said if you look at them, they all have the same deal presented to them.
They do.
And
They
he
do.
said, he said, if you look at Luda, how many Fast and Furiouses are there? There's gonna be 10.
Really? I didn't know that. That's
gonna
not
be
one
10.
franchise I like follow that much.
Baby, I do.
Yeah.
So it's gonna
Yeah.
be 10. I think the 10th one comes out 2025.
Okay.
But and he's been in other movies too. He said that was the deal. He said, but he didn't take it. He didn't say it outright. He alleges that, which one of us did you see cut their hair? Which one of us do you see no longer has the sideburns? If you remember, Luda had the sideburns with the points.
I remember with the fro.
So he cut his hair, did away with the sideburns, and now he signed that deal. So even Kevin Hart, he said that he alleged, insinuated that he was a part of Illuminati too, because Kevin Hart came out saying that he would never wear a dress until they asked him to wear one, and then he was in a dress. Like, it's, too many things are adding up for me when I go back and think about it and look at what was happening during that time. Now, there was a point, because like I said, Katt Williams emptied the clip. There was the point where Shay Shay was like, man, he said, I ain't gonna be able to have nobody come back, no comedian coming here after this. And he was like, we're gonna have to cut you off on the alcohol or whatever, because they were drinking cognac.
Yeah.
And this line just stuck out with me. Katt said, I'm not fueled by alcohol. He said, I've had one sip, less than you. The truth don't need no motivation.
Yeah.
I said, oh.
But he also, in the midst of absolutely. So in the midst of the interview, he also said, kind of, because I forgot what Shannon, he was like, so, you're taking the side of, I guess, the others or something. I can't remember what his word was.
He told Shannon he was taking the side of the loser comedians, because he said the Faison was funny in his role in Big Worm, and I agree. He said, so you taking the side of losers.
That's exactly what he said.
We about to wrap up, but just a couple more things that he let rip. I think I touched on already. He said that basically if you sign up for their program, there being the Illuminati, you get a light-skinned, weird-faced wife that never does an interview in 20 years. He said that describes at least 7 different people.
Now that I think about it, when he said it, I've never seen Marjorie do an interview, and that's crazy because
I thought about it too, and I haven't either. But she is photographed everywhere.
Yeah.
Eudoxie,
yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen Eudoxie do an interview.
I have never seen her do an interview. It was her, LaToya Luckett, and Carrie Hilson years ago. They did like a little sit down chat.
But now, was it before she was married to Ludacris or after?
It was after.
It was after? I'm gonna have to go back and look at it.
It was after.
But he said that that's crazy. But he also said that, basically, Steve Harvey said the entertainer, Ricky Smiley, they're a little clique, they're a little gang or whatever. They're co-entwined. They share secrets. But he said this is the age of truth. And I very much believe 2024 is the age of truth. He said the reason he was blackballed for 30 years is because he's done nothing but collect information, knowledge, and your secrets. Like my sister said a minute ago, that's why people fear him when he come in the room and they drop their head.
They drop their heads. That's what he said.
But he made sense though. He said that for the ones who have sold their soul allegedly to the Illuminati, he didn't say Illuminati, but the ones that have sold their sole purpose is to act like it did not happen.
That is true.
He's not probably as rich as them because he did not take shortcuts. And he has not been funded. He has funded his own projects for the most part.
Right.
What I didn't know is, when you mentioned Cedric the Entertainer's response and called him Cat in the Hat, I thought he was trying to be funny. What I did not know is when Katt Williams started out, that's what the name he was going by was Cat in the Hat. Until Disney sent him a cease and desist letter.
Yep, and said
So he
change
was
it.
like, okay, cool, because they was threatening to sue him. He was like, okay, cool, and changed it to Katt Williams. He said at that time he wasn't even making $5,000 a year, but here's this huge conglomerate worried about him calling himself Cat in the Hat, and it was a play on words because it wasn't spelled the same way. His first startup was $22,000. He funded it himself with only $25,000 that he had. So, and then, some of them we alleged to P. Diddy a minute ago. He said, like I told you, he said his sole purpose is to protect his home. He said, P. Diddy be wanting to party and you have got to tell him no. But if you remember a couple episodes ago, it may have been the last after show, one of the last recent after shows we did. We talked about P. Diddy and the phone incident in Cassie and how he was in that interview with Fab saying, Fab was like, when we gonna party? And Fab was like, we've partied, and Diddy was like, but we haven't partied. Yeah. So I guess that's his code word for like homosexual activity.
Yeah.
He said Martin Lawrence tried to put him in a dress. And this was the role for Big Mama's House too. And he was wondering, he's like, you've already done that. Like, you've already been in a dress. Why do we have to do this again? So he put him on to Brandon T. Jackson. Yeah. Melba Moore, I never knew who that was, but she's the famous singer apparently. He sponsored her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame for $75,000. They report his net worth as $2 million. He said that is not accurate. He said he said, hell, I had that in my pocket when I found out what they said. I had that in my pocket. He said, how is my net worth less than my last Netflix special? And he also go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back. So Brandon T. Jackson, and something is going on with him because a couple months ago they were going on to him because he was doing a comedy special with a fake audience with fake laughter.
What?
Yeah, it was a fake audience because you never see the audience. You just see him and the spotlight's on him and he's telling jokes, and there's a fake laugh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, go look at it. Allegedly, go look.
I'm looking at it tonight. And lastly, because I did not expect this one to be so long. He also, alleged to the TD Jakes incident. He said, yeah, TD Jakes over there with P. Diddy. And TD Jakes came out after them allegations and said, I will not stand up here. He was in church preaching his sermon this Sunday saying he will not sit up there and address a lie. But it's a viral clip going around of TD Jakes in the previous sermon from a while back. And they keep replaying because he was like, have you ever been swallowed up? Have you ever been swallowed? That perfect for these Diddy allegations, though.
Listen, I'm telling you, this is the year. They said 2020 was the year of clear vision, but no, it's this year. Like, so many things are coming out. People are like not as invested in celebrities as they used to be. Like, things and times are changing. So yeah,
very different. Very different, but I do believe a lot of things are coming out. Just sidebar, we have seen a few of the names listed in the Epstein come out. The rest of them are probably going to be leaked here soon. So 2024 is a year of clarity, a year of truth, and everything is being exposed. And I'm here for it because, as I've said time and time again, what's done in the dark will come to the light.
Will come to the light. Yeah.
Do you have any final thoughts, Boo?
No, Katt really, he came out swinging with this one. And I've watched half the interview. I haven't watched all of it because it's like 2.5 hours long. But
2 hours
it was
and 46 minutes to be exact.
Yeah, but it was a great interview. I have never I have looked at a few of his clips because he is funny, but like I've enjoyed watching what I have. so far of the interview. And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I am shocked by some of this. But honestly, no, I'm not, because I've always heard about, the types of things that they have to do to
And what
get
goes on in
successful.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
But that
Yeah.
man said ain't nobody touching his hole.
Yeah. And I just want to know, like, who some of these people that were in the room, and when Harvey Weinstein asked him, and it was some two other black people in there. Who was
Three
it?
other black people.
Three other, but who was it?
Who? Only time will tell. But y'all, please let us know
What?
your
I'm
thoughts.
sorry. One other thing. So last week we touched on Christian Keys, and I want to give an update. So I remember last week I said I think it was Diddy. So now, because Christian Keys, they were saying Christian Keys came out and was like, that this happened to him. He, so he was sexually harassed and different stuff like that. And I thought it was Diddy, and many people speculated that it was Tyler Perry. So there was an account that said, it wasn't Tyler Perry or whatever, but Christian came out, his real account, and which we found out that whoever said it wasn't Tyler Perry, that was a fake account. Christian came out and said, "This is my account," and he said, "I never like dismissed anybody," basically. So
I feel like it's either him or the bishop.
yeah, I think it's Tyler or Bishop. But my thing is, like I said, the year is clear vision. But see, somebody brought up a point. It's a guy that I follow on YouTube. I think his name is Royce. I can't remember, but he said he believes. I believe Christian Keys, and he did too. The only thing was, that they're gonna pay you off, and is that what this is about? You just want to get paid off. Because with that, you're not going to release the name. We want to know who's doing this.
We do, but at the same time, I feel like this is a similar case that Cassie had. Like, I don't blame them for getting the money because,
Yeah.
that follows so much mental turmoil. You need to pay them people for their pain and suffering.
Yeah, yeah. And
So
you're not dealing with.
as well. Now, I don't agree with them signing NDAs.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm for them getting to the bag because they've suffered this long. The least you can do is cut the check.
Yeah. I agree with the bag. It's just, I want to know who some of these people are. And don't tell me it ain't none of my business, because yes, it is.
Because you don't
This
put it
is
out.
what I want to know, because as someone who supports these actors, comedians and stuff, I want to know, because if they're doing this to people, I don't want to patronize. Like, I don't want to buy their movies. I don't want any of it. So let us know who these people are. I don't want to support these
That's
people.
facts, though. That's facts. And don't say it's not our business, but you put it out to be our business.
Yes.
I don't like when people do that. I hate when people say things and be like, "Y'all need to mind your business." Well, why did you tell us?
No, I want to know. Like, if you come
Not
out with
even
these
just celebrities. I see people, just regular people on social media doing that. They'll air out their business between whoever, whatever, and then say, y'all need to mind your business. No, I'm minding your business because you put it out there.
Yeah.
And I need to know what happened.
Yes. Like, I want to know so I can withhold my money from these people. I don't want to support like Diddy right now. They're already hitting his pockets because he was supposed to have a reality show on Hulu. They've pulled it. It's not happening.
Right.
So, things are moving, but like I said, I want to know. Like, I'm tired of y'all. Like, Cassie came up, she was real about hers, but I want to know who some of these people are, because I love Tyler Perry. I just watched Medea's funeral or whatever last night, and I was cracking.
I have not been a Tyler Perry fan in years.
Really?
I just feel like he pushes the same narrative every time. Basically, Black women need to settle for less. Yeah. It's always the same thing over and over again. Like,
I see why you think that.
I watch the old stuff.
Yeah.
But I have not been a fan of Tyler Perry in a long time.
Now, I'm a fan of his journey and the success. I watched his new documentary that's on Amazon Prime, and it is really emotional. It was really good. What he's done or what he's tried to do for Black actors. I won't take that from him. That's been amazing. And him having, his own studio, named after some of the greats.
I will say,
Uh-huh.
Katt Williams did mention Tyler Perry as well, and he said that that's another one that continuously wears a dress. That's the role that him and Ricky Smiley are meant to be, because they're not as successful when they branch outside from that, and they really not, like, unless Tyler is playing Medea, it's not as successful. Like, he was in, he was in Why Did I Get Married? Why Did I Get Married 2? He was in Alex
He plays
Croft.
Brian. He plays
Yeah.
Brian on like Medea's Family Reunion, Diary of a Man. He plays like Uncle Joe, and Uncle Joe's really funny.
Uncle Joe's really funny, but no role that he's played has topped Medea.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but I just hate how he continuously pushes this, struggle love on Black women. That's the part I can't get with, and everything is wade in the water, type of stuff. So I don't get into that type of thing anymore when I'm looking for movies and stuff to watch. But I still do watch all the Medea movies. They were funny, don't get me wrong, but in this day and age, it just wore out. I don't want to hear. I don't want him to make nothing new, still pushing the same narrative. Let me put it like that.
I totally understand.
The wigs are horrible.
Listen, his justification for that was he doesn't spend a lot of money on the wigs because he would rather put the money in the actor's pocket.
A decent wig, you can go to the beauty supply store that's good enough for this role and buy for $30. That's not an excuse.
I'm just saying what he said, or allegedly what he said.
But I'm not buying it. They got good beauty supply hair store wigs that cost you little or nothing, and you can make it look like something. They can get sew-ins, like it's crochets, braids. For like that braided wig that he had Shamar wearing was a travesty. A travesty. Is that
wig that he had? The lady, A Fall from Grace on Netflix, I think it
Oh
was.
my God!
Her wig, and even her boo thing, whatever his name,
Yeah, but see, even that's another prime example. While that was a great movie, his role in that movie was not as pivotal as Medea.
Yeah.
I haven't seen The Fall from Grace like so many times. Like, that was one where he did branch outside of the norm, and I enjoyed it, but I feel like he should do that more. I'm tired of the same narrative being pushed in these movies.
Which one now?
A Fall from Grace was really good. That's something where he stepped outside of his normal, typical, roles that he be, portraying.
Well, that other movie, the jazz, it's on Netflix. It's
that's really good too.
That's something different. Yeah, he did that one.
See, if he keeps going in that area, in that direction, then he got me. But we don't need to go backwards to all the stuff that we've produced before, because it's not getting it no more.
Yeah.
I think it was called it was
a jazz something blues. Let me. I got Netflix up.
Jazzman's Blues.
That's right. That
was really good.
That was excellent. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
But okay. All hearts, minds clear.
Everything is clear. Once again, y'all get on my nerves. I'm gonna say that every week because y'all do. Not the viewers. I love y'all.
We love y'all.
These celebrities, like, it's just crazy. I mean, but honestly, none of the stuff surprised me because, it's things I've noticed. Like, I mean, in entertainment that I just think is backwards. That's just not right. Especially when the child stars are coming out saying, they've been molested, abused, and all this. It's just really sad. And, I am looking forward to, Hollywood being exposed. Like I said, so I can see who I want to support and who I don't, who I want to pull support from. I'm sick of the NDAs. Hold these people accountable. Like Diddy, I don't care what he got. He will never get another dollar from me.
Right.
So,
but thank y'all so much for tuning in. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. If you have any suggestions of what you would like us to cover on the next after show, please leave a comment. We are on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify. Sisters in Crime with Shot and Toy. And we also, if you would like to send us an email with a recommendation, it is sistasinCrimewithShiandToy@gmail.com. Very simple. But please comment down below and let us know your thoughts on what Katt Williams said. Like I said, I believe about 75% of it because he just spoke with such volition. I'm very convinced, but everything we said is alleged. This is from one man's point of view, so I can't say whether it's fact nor fiction.
That's true. That's true.
All right. And we'll be back next week with another one. If you made it this far, honey, thank you so much for tuning in.
Absolutely. Bye.
Bye.